Very good afternoon to all participants, and I invite Dr.Doreen for the session. I welcome all the participants
Recording
for this
in progress.
session 3 of day 5 on this FDTP on Fundamentals of Data Science, sponsored by University Chennai. And here we have Dr. Doreen joining with us for this session 3 and session 4 of day 5 today. And I'm very happy to introduce Madam to our participants. Dr. Doreen Robin is the Director of Computational Intelligence Research Foundation. She is a data scientist and a machine learning and deep learning trainer and a keynote speaker. She received her BTech Information Technology from Madras University, Chennai, and ME in Computer Science and Engineering from Anna University, Chennai, and Ph.D. in Computer Science and Engineering from Anna University, Chennai. Her research interests include parallel and distributed computing, peer-to-peer computing, grid computing, cloud computing, and big data analytics. Previous positions of her that she has held already include professor and head of the department at Laila ITAM College of Engineering and Technology, the Department of Information Technology. Assistant professor at the Department of Computer Engineering and Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering, Chennai. Teaching research associate at the Department of Computer Science, Anna University, Chennai. Assistant professor at the Department of Information Technology, Assistant College of Engineering, Chennai. She has published about 30 papers in international and national journals and conferences. She is a right member of ISTV. She is a reviewer of our Computer and Electrical Engineering journal and Future Generations Computer Science journal. She had been the person for many workshops for students as well as faculty. She has trained more than 7,500 faculty, students, and corporates on the latest technologies. She is a member of Board of Studies at SRM Valliyamai College of Engineering and Jerusalem College of Engineering. In addition, she is the administrator at Bethel Group of Schools. We are very happy to have you here, ma'am, amidst of us today for these two sessions. I welcome you on the session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you all for the wonderful introduction given by the professors and faculties of Meenakshi Sundararajan Engineering College. And I know it is the post lunch session, and I'm happy to meet you all today in this session. I hope my audio, you're able to hear me. Yes, if yes, yeah. If yes, you can post it onto the chat. Okay, how are you all doing today? Let me have the answers on the chat.
We are fine.
Yeah, thank you. Answers on chat, please, because the entire session we're going to communicate through the online mode. All right. So I wish the participants to share just in one word. How are you today? You say fine. You're happy. You're exhausted. So I wish, whatever it is. I'm doing great. Thank you. Others. Let me hear from you, because this is the one way that we could know, because it's a live session. Literally, I'll be into the talk, or sometimes we just switch on the systems and then we go around. I want the answers on the chat, please. Happy to have almost 38 plus participants right now. All right. Okay, do you want to have an active session or a passive session? If you want to have an active session, just post onto the chat as A. If you want to have a passive session, post onto the chat as P. Yes, only one response. Other professors, please kindly do respond first. Just one letter. I don't even want a word. Yeah, thank you, Manju Priya ma'am. Yes, others? Mics on mute, answers on chat. Thank you, Gayatri ma'am. Yeah, thank you, Lavanya ma'am from Thangavale Engineering College. All right. Others? All right. Quick, have your answers on the chat so that it will be a good responder for us to literally know about how things are working. Thank you. Devi Lakshmi ma'am. All right. So in all my sessions, I always wish the participants to interact more, so it will be even more easier for us to literally understand how things are working. All right. So I hope you're all doing well. Is any other responses posted? Thank you, Divya ma'am. Though we spend 5 or 6 minutes onto the introduction, I find it's really, really wonderful and it's much need. Okay, I would like, so it's a very good session that it has been scheduled by Meenakshi Sundararajan Engineering College. Once again, I would like to thank the Department of Artificial Intelligence and Data Science and Department of Engineering for having organized this online, right, 6-day FTP beautiful sessions, right? I hope you have got about the entire shell of what is the under umbrella of data science, what are the things and the research goals, how are you going to retrieve data, all right, the exploratory data analysis, how the frequency are being distributed, right, how we are going to have different graphs, all right, and then about the interquartile and the quartile, right, and then you've learned about the Numpy arrays, and then you've gone into Pandas, all right, and different distributions yesterday, regressions, and today morning, like I think Tenmoli ma'am, okay, she has given a talk on this density and contour plots, all right, and then another professor from the corporate, they've given about visualization into Matplot, so that started with your spark of it, all right. And then in this session, we are going to have with an online session of we are going to have a hands-on too. Let's see how far you, the entire session, I could say the way you come in will not be the way you go out, but only the way how are you going to interact and how are you going to get yourself beneficial. And this session we are going to especially see about three-dimensional plotting and geographical data, and specific about geospatial data analysis. How are you going to take, I've got multiple working of mine, but let me see how far we'll be able to share it and how you'll be able to work it on. And data analysis using stat models and seaborns, right? Seaborn. All right, and then we're going to work with Plotly. Okay, how we're going to have a Plotly and interactive data visualization using Bokeh. When you say Plotly, it's more dynamic. You can also see the plotting values using Plotly and Bokeh. All right, I hope the first 4 sessions would have been more interesting for you. All right, and now let's move on. Is my screen seen to you all? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. So, see, we are going to have 2 sessions. Now we are on to the first session, but predominantly what are the topics that we're going to see is 3-dimensional plotting. All right, and then we move on to the data analysis using stat models. Then we move on to the graph plotting using Plotly, the interactive data visualization using Bokeh, and then about Seaborn and Matplotlib. And I hope you would have learned about Matplotlib. Okay, can one of you post it onto the chat if you're okay? Or if you want to unmute on also, you can say, can you tell what are the insights that you've learned using Matplotlib? Any words that comes to your mind about Matplotlib? Or you can put it onto the chat. Feel free to unmute and also speak. I want this session to be an active session because most of the time it's FDP or FDTP. If it is online, it is usual for us to switch on your system and keep moving away. And we don't know whether we are speaking to the system or we are speaking to you. You could be right, you could be wrong. No worries. Can you post onto the chat? What some insights that you've learned about Matplotlib?
Contour plot of matrix we learned now.
Contour plots, all right. Then what about others? I don't know how many passive participants are here. All right. So different plottings. The first level of plotting is matplotlib. All right, it's the matplotlib. So in news, when you see the entire session, this session and the next session, we are predominantly going to see about data visualization using different plots. To start with the Spark, is that what we have started is only is your matplotlib. All right. Did you have hands-on session on matplotlib on the previous session? Yes, type Y on the chat. No, type N on the chat. Yes, you had. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. P. Chitra ma'am, Gayatri ma'am, Sita Saran ma'am. All right. So, and what tool you used for the morning session? What's the tool that you used in the morning session for the hands-on?
Colab, ma'am.
Colab you have used. All right. Nice to hear. So before we move on to the session, we have 42 participants. We'll play quite a simple game, okay, before we start off with the session. And as introduced by the professors, I was into engineering colleges for a decade. Then I started my research foundation called as Computational Intelligence Research Foundation. Basically, I'm a data scientist, and we work on a lot of data for corporates, for researchers, and also in training people, corporate students, faculties also. Once the unique thing is that, and always you see you have student internship at CIRF. You can find it out at www.cirf.co.in. We also provide faculty internships because and we have been successful in completing a few set of batches. Right? We give training for faculties. I always think when one faculty is trained on hands-on, through you, thousands and thousands of students could be trained throughout your entire teaching career. All right, so that's one specific thing, because I was into academics and then we moved on to this new business model. All right, and we launched on faculty internships, and feel free to join if you wish to. Okay, we are going to have a quick game before we start with. All right, you need to read the color but not the word. What is this word blue? But you should not read it as blue. You should read it as red, blue, yellow, and you have to read it from the start and you have to move to the end, and from the end, from the first to the last, again from last to the first. 30 seconds will be given. All right, this is not a screen, that's another screen that is going to come. Is the rule of the game clear to you? You need to read the color of the word but not the word. Yes, answers on chat. Why? If you're able to understand. If you're not able to understand, type it as no. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Like one or two, I think Dr. Chitra ma'am is more active. I don't know what about the other 42. Most of you are here. Kindly don't be as a passive listener. All right. So shall we start? 30 seconds will be given. All right. I'm going to start off. So you can start reading it. It's not yellow. You need to read it as a green, a red, blue, from the first to the last, and again from the last to the first. You need not unmute your mics. After which, like one of you or two can share.
Shall I make a try?
Don't unmute. You have to do it on your own.
Oh, okay, good. Fine, ma'am.
At the end, you have to share to me. Okay, it's done. How many of you tried? How many of you tried? Then what's your experience? Dr. Sita Devi ma'am. You can unmute your mics and share. What's your experience all about?
It was not that easy to read as such, because as soon as we saw the letters, it was about to tell the letter and not the color exactly.
Yeah, so one side of the brain captures the color, and other side we literally said that we should not. Yeah, you all found the next thing too. That's great. Okay, and you wanted to read it. Sometimes in life things are like that, all right, but that's why we say some of us, I don't know how many of you would have learned Python, how many of you would have learned data science during a career. If you ask me, it's absolute no. And then we start learning something, upgrading ourselves, and that's more important, all right. So let's move on to the next thing. Most of you have given the answer, which is the missing number. Let me see who's the first one who had given the answer. Let me see who's the first one on the chat. Yes, it's Dr. P. Chitra ma'am. Chitra ma'am, you're from which college? You can unmute.
I'm MSEC, ma'am.
Oh, you're from the same parent college. Okay, hosting event. All right. And the most challenging thing, right? It's very difficult to know whether literally faculties are listening. At the end, we are going to have, right? One ma'am was sharing her experience. It was difficult. It's called an interactive Stroop effect. All right, when you look at the chart, we want to say, if I ask you to read the word, like you all say yellow, blue, orange, black, red, orange, and again you'll go out. There's something called left-right conflicts. Your right brain tries to say the color, but the left brain keeps insisting on reading the word. So these are some starting point that we're going to do on even data visualization, right? It is, can you see, you can compare this with visualization. I'm showing a word, but I'm not asking you to read the word, but the color of the word. All right. So when you take into data science or data analytics, you are going to process with huge volume of data. All right, huge volume of data. How are you going to process it? How are you going to visualize it? It's more important. All right, there are different tools, and every tools keep coming every day. And before I move on to the next slide, let me ask these questions. Like, anybody here, how many of you have heard or already worked? You have a hands-on experience on data visualization using any of the packages like Bokeh, Plotly, Seaborn, geographic, geospatial data, 3D plots. Anybody has got an experience? You can type yes. If so, you can type what package. If you are new to it, just type it as new or N. No? So when I get an insights from you, it will be easy for us to progress. Otherwise, it will be like I'm speaking and I literally don't know whether you're into the talk or not into the talk. It's new. Yes, for most of, like 3 of you have answered it's new for you. What about others? Out of 45, only 3, excluding me, you would take it as 44. What about the remaining 41? Or you're there into the talk or no? That, oh, Matplotlib, you know about it. Thank you, Indu ma'am. Yes, for Sita ma'am, it's new. All right. Only a few responses, only 4 to 5 are responding. What about others? I wish everybody, if you find it very difficult, type only one letter. If you are new, you type it as N. If you already know about it, type in the package or type it as K. I know it's post lunch. The effect is too good after lunch. I don't know. I always, most of the time when I'm allotted, I get afternoon sessions. But the most challenging is to keep the participants interactive, both in live sessions and also online or offline, whatever it is. New, thank you, Manjupriya ma'am. All right. So I want everybody to answer at least once during this session. We started with 1 o'clock and we are going to have it till 4:15 or 4:45. I don't know, the first session and the second session, right? The first session
4:15, 4:15.
till 4:15. Okay, till 4:15 is the session. But I can tell you, once you listen to the topic, the session, the way you come in will not be the way that you got. If you don't listen to it, I'm not sure what could be done. And the college has taken a lot of efforts in arranging this. So we are going into visualization. What word comes to your mind when you hear the word visualization or data visualization? I want you to give to me in one word. Something that comes to your mind, right? Data visualization. What is your inference or what is your reflection? Don't think, why, ma'am, you're asking so many questions. Bar charts, very good. I'm getting good responses. Colorful, thank you, Indu ma'am. Visual effect, thank you. What about others? For this question, I want everybody to answer, and this would be an alert to the organizers. Literally know how many of you are getting connected to this talk. And otherwise, it will be taken and the others will ask, like only your system is attending and not you. What is one such?
You can make all to participate. That's possible.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. I've got 3 answers out of 45. Characteristics, thank you. What about the others? I know. Don't hesitate. Some of you are listening. What will others think if I put some answer, if I type in some? Don't ever think what other things into our life. Okay. We are into our own world. Okay. Bar chart. Thank you. What about others? All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. Only 5 answers for every question. Patterns of data. Thank you. You can type anything. You could be right. You could be. What does that one word? I'm not going to evaluate you. Each of us have our own perceptions, right? Patterns of data. All right. All right. So here, there are different kinds of visualization that you could have it on. Like different kinds of, this is for bokeh, like scatter plot or heat maps, all right, the line plots over here, all right, the pair plots, the kernel density estimates. So different kinds of plots. But more importantly, what is important, right? When you have a data, you literally need to understand how are you going to process the data, all right, what are the data that you're going to take, how are you going to visualize the data, and so much and so more. So it's a discipline of trying to understand the data by placing it into visual context. All right, you have got huge volume of data. All right, so you do know the patterns, for the trends, for the correlations that otherwise may be detected or can be exposed. How many of you buy products using Amazon or Flipkart? Or some apps they say Meesho or something or the other? Do you buy? What was the latest product that you have bought it? Using Amazon or Flipkart or whatever it is. Let me, can you share any one product? Or any orders you have placed in Swiggy, Zomato? Headsets. Excuse me. I had been speaking long every day, and again after the session, I got another session. My throat got irritated. Okay, so share, if when you see on Amazon, can you see something? People who have viewed this product has also viewed the following. Yes or no? Yes, is it correct, Divya ma'am? People who have bought this product have also viewed this product, have also viewed the following products. Yes, no? Yes. Okay, and why does it come like that? that. Patterns of how people are seeing to it, right? How people are seeing to it. Yeah, otherwise you may choose any other things also, like because it is given in a visual, like based on the trending, rightly said. And also if you see some YouTube videos, you can see a hashtag like trending, right? So these are the things that context the patterns, right? Actually it detects the data patterns to have more insights about the patterns of data, right? How many of us during the COVID peak season, every day we see, right, how many people have been infected, and the government was giving a visualization of how many people have been affected in India, in Tamil Nadu, in Andhra Pradesh, in Telangana, like in different places, right? So when I have a data visualization of this type, all right, so here I can see like Telangana, totally so many cases, so many deaths, so many recoveries, and these are the active cases. So if I'm going to see the same value in a table format, it is not going to give so much of insights about it. But a picture is worth more than one of you can complete. A picture is worth, anybody? Picture worth. That's the quotation, right? Quotes. Some of them. More than 1,000 words. A picture is worth than 1,000 words. Is it true? So much true on data visualization? Yes? No? So how a picture is worth 1,000 words. One look when you look at it. So it could be 1,000 words on to the details, but see how it is. So obtaining insights from the analysis of large data sets, right? So data visualization, and also it could be used for large scale industry and small scale industry. Recently we are working with a research project. I cannot tell us what domain, but we have been working with like 1.5 lakhs of data, all right, and it's just a text from the text, right? And how are we going to process it, right? One of the key skills of a data scientist, right, is the ability to compile and visualize the data, right? As faculty members, right, we don't always keep speaking, we draw something, visualize it. How many of you give exercise to students like mind maps after you teach a concept to students? Anybody here you have got the habit of giving mind maps for the students to just represent it? Yes, thank you, Indu ma'am. So when the students, they think they have the minds of creativity, the presentation and the innovative skills comes out after you teach, right? Even when I was into teaching, after we teach a concepts, we tell the student, just make it into a mind map, just draw some diagram, just have, like some of you give some role plays, right? I don't know how many of you give a role plays when you take classes to students, right? These are some effective methods of teaching we see. Same way, learning to visualize the data, extract the information, learning to know the patterns of data, and to take effective decisions. Say, for example, you have got a visualization as your faculties in colleges. Like one prime important is to, when whatever kind of students they come to us, we need to teach them the concepts, make them to understand the concept. By the end of the exam, they need to complete it, right? So you can think of having a visualization like first internals, the students behave like that in my class lip test, and is there an improvisation, then the line graph will be going up. Otherwise, the students are doing good on the first month, and then there is a depletion. When you've got a visualization, it is easy for you to take a decision to what are the students that you really need to give an effort for them to make them to more understand of the concepts, right? So there are different packages. Already in the first session you've seen about Matplotlib, right? And then moving on to Seaborn, right? Matplotlib is the base visualization package, and the next higher level package is Seaborn. And then next, if you could say Plotly, you can see the difference when I run it and show. You'll be able to find the difference in Plotly. As you hover over the graph, you can see the value points, which means whereas you cannot see it in Seaborn, all right? And then Bokeh, okay, you can have output as in web development language like HTML, Geoplotlib, Pygal, 3D plots. Folium is a package. Anybody has heard about Folium? Yes, no? Have you heard about Folium? Yes. Folium is a package for maps. Okay. Folium, it is a package for maps. Okay. So when you take Matplotlib, okay, it's a comprehensive library for creating static, animated, and interactive visualization. It's very easy and okay, I'll just show you on Folium, right, and makes things easier to work. Right, the first thing we're going to see is about histograms. All right, so histograms you would have seen, right? How do you plot it for age, income, and sales? Right, you have a columnar charts, right? You have got box plots. Let's move on into the collab. Morning, what are the plots you tried it out in Matplotlib? Sometime internet connection. What are the plots you have seen in the morning session, please? You are able to hear me? Audio is not working properly. I'm not able. No, you are able to hear. Okay.
Yeah, I'm able to hear you, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Once sometimes it is silent, I think. Last time I was taking a session and sometime or the other, my system, I had an issue and I was not able to hear from people. Okay, let's start with Matplotlib and Seaborn, and then already you've completed. That's what I was asking. What are the plots you tried it out in Matplotlib? What are the plots? Already I've had a hands-on session on Pandas, right? Okay. See here, you've got common styles of libraries as you work with MATLAB. I don't know how many of you work with MATLAB, but it's a paid version, whereas it is a free version here. All right. So basically, when you know about Matplotlib, it is made up of two components. One is the axis that determines the area of the chart. How is the area? And then you go into the figure. And when you use, you are not going to use you are not going to install, it is already coming with the package. Okay, initially I'm going to import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. Okay, so in the Matplotlib I'm taking only one package. Already you would have worked on the morning session. And then Numpy. What does Numpy stands for? What is Numpy? You had a session on Numpy, I suppose. What? Numerical Python, rightly said. And I'm aliasing as NP. And Pandas. What is Pandas? The use of Pandas? What is the use of Pandas? What is the use of Pandas? Pandas is used for Python for data analysis. Python for data analysis. That is what it stands for, right? Yeah, numerical Python. And the data type of Pandas is data frame. Okay, the type of data inside my data Pandas is called as data frame. Right? I'm going to load a data set. Okay, it's about a standard metropolitan city. Right, I'm directly loading through the URL. Okay, and then you should have learned about it, x.head of. Right, so what is the land area What is the percent of city? How many seniors? How many physicians? Physicians, hospital beds? How many graduates? The workforce. All right, the income, which region they belong to, all right, and what is the crime rate, all right, and what is the crime rate. And then I can also see here what is the size of data. So I'm importing into the variable called x, and also I can find it out like x dot shape of. Okay, there are two things in pandas. One is an attributes and other is a methods. One is an attributes and other. Whenever you have open and close parentheses, so we have 99 rows and 10 columns. If I go see through this data, I will not be able to see to it, right? If I want to count, and also if I want to know about how many unique values are there in which, I can see that x dot n unique of. Okay, this is an attribute where there are many attributes. Maybe into my YouTube channel you can check, I've got a lot of sessions onto that, right? And this is a function. So how many unique values? There are 4 regions of unique values, right? There are 4 regions of unique values. Whenever you see open and close parenthesis, it is a method. Okay, and also if I want to describe how the data are for descriptive analytics, x dot describe of. Okay, this also could be done. It works only for the digital values, and here your entire value is of digital type. So I can see the minimum crime rate is 23 and the maximum is 85, right? And I can see the mean value of it, how many percentage of senior citizens are there, how many hospital beds average, right? How many graduates, workforce, the income, average income, also you can see to it. All right. Okay, now can you all open Colab and import these, import matplotlib.pyplot@plt. I will give you this link, the dataset link. Is some of you have unmuted your mic? Any doubts? Do you got doubts?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, first import matplotlib.pyplot@plt and Numpy as NP. Open up your Colab. Already you are aware of Colab. And then for loading the data set, I'll give you the link of the data set. Once this is done, let me know, and then try x dot head of. Once you have completed, if you give me done, then it will be easy for me to move on to the next. Are you trying?
Yes, sir.
Once it is done, let me know. If you're going to get x dot head of. All right. Are you doing it? Import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. We are importing 3 packages, and then we have started importing from a data set, right? Any doubts you can ask me. All right. Have you got x dot head off and gotten the data? Yes means type as. Any doubts or errors, let me know. First give import matplotlib, and then I've given the link onto the chat. How do you import it? I'm importing into this variable called x, and then you can give x dot head off. We completed it. Shall we move on? And then you can try for x dot shape to know the total number of rows and columns. How many unique values? There are many attributes, many methods. We don't have time because my topic is not on pandas. All right, so to know how many unique values are available. So I can see there are totally 4 regions are available and x dot describe of. And also if I want to use a simple CBON, right, I can give import CBON as SNS. If I want to have a count plot, just I can give SNS dot count plot of. If I want to have like x is equal to, if I want to have only the region, right, I can have x into x equal to comma data equal to x. Okay, very, very simple graph to plot. So how many one region, how many of them are in the second region, how many of them are in the third region, how many of them are in the fourth region, right? Just count plot. So simple it is, right? So how many of you have tried these things? Head off, shape, n unique of, and describe. If you could respond me back, it will be easy for me to progress. Only one ma'am has responded. Try this after you loaded. I'm just giving one column to count and give me. Import CBON as SNS, and then I'm doing a count plot. Throughout my 100 data sets are there, right? It counts how many regions, how many are 1, how many are 2, how many are 3, how many are 4. With this data set of text file, I will not be able to understand. By here, I can see more number of data from this data set or from region 3. They are from region 3. This is the basic graph of CBON. Anybody tried it? Have you got an output of this? Yes, please. Are you able to understand, or you got any doubts also, let me know. I've just imported.
Didn't understand, ma'am.
You're able to understand. Thank you. I've given the data set link. Why I gave the link? So it is easy. You need not download, you need not upload. Directly from the link, you can run into your Colab. Have you got this graph? Just importing Numpy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and then we moved on into fetching a data set. I gave you the link for the data set. I'm taking it to the variable X, and then you can have like describe or unique of or shape, the head of, the tail of, to ensure how the data sets are there with your text file. Moving on to visualization, the first package that we're going to see is Seaborn. I'm importing Seaborn as SNS. I can use Seaborn. I'm using an aliasing name as SNS, then SNS dot count plot of. Once you have got this graph, particular graph, can you put it, have it on the chat, right? Done. This is a very, very simple Seaborn graph. The simple Seaborn graph. Yeah, thank you. Sita Devi ma'am has completed. What about others? We have 44 people. Out of 44, only one has responded. What about the other 43? Yes, please. You're there or you're not there. You're trying. How many of you are trying at least? Done. Thank you, Indu ma'am. Nice to hear from you. What about others? Trying. Thank you. Trying. When if you get errors, let me know. All right. So these are different packages. So first package we started with Seaborn. All right. All the packages you can do. What are the different types of plots that we want to do? Right. You can have an histograms on both Matplotlib, Seaborn, Plotly. All right. The box plots, the pie charts. Right. The pie chart you will see that under. I'll show you the demonstration. Right. Static number, how the categories are represented. I showed it like a count plot, right? The same thing you can show it as a pie chart also. In which region you have taken more, like a scatter plot. Okay, so scatter plot always it's like a scattering of points that shows between two different variables. Okay, and it tells us the distribution trends. Okay, so here you have different data points and you want to highlight similarities, and more importantly scatter plot also is helpful in finding outliers. Okay, outliers are some data or your data set which is not in an acceptable format. For example, can you tell me for a normal human, if you're going to have a human age in your data set, what could be the minimum age? What could be the maximum age? At least give this onto the chat, please. Minimum age and maximum age of a human. Suppose you've got a data set that has got a column, and in that one column is age, which has got numbers. What could be the minimum value? What could be the maximum value? Kindly give answer at least to it. Again, now I'm taking online 1 month internship for students, right? Online, like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And today is Friday, right? We started this Monday. I'm handling like 131 students, and there are quick answers like 1 to 100, maximum 100, minimum is 1, right? Suppose in your data set, if you've got one column, in one row the age value is 1000, which is not an acceptable format, which means there is an outlier in your data set. So you need to clean your data before you process onto it. Like a human cannot live for 1000 years, right? So like that, if you want to find the outliers in your data set, or distributions of data set, then it is easy. It is you can use your scatter plot, right? I can show you some small scatter plot using Matplotlib, or also I can show you the same thing using Seaborn also, right? I think you have already. So X, I'm taking my crime rate. and Y I am taking my how many senior persons and then show. This is using my Matplotlib. If I want to use the same thing, right? Same thing, if I want to use it in my Seaborn, I can show to you SNS dot scatter plot. I can have X is equal to my crime rate, and I can have like Y equal to how many percent seniors are there, and that's it. When I show this, sorry, I'm not given the data. Data equal to X. This is my Matplotlib. Can you see? Almost it looks the similar. But one can, what is the difference between these two? What is the difference between these two plots? This is the same scatter.
Color changes, color change.
Color, no, this plot is using
But it's clear, I guess.
It is clear, rightly said. It is clear, right? Because here you can see it is like rounds on overlapping. This is an higher level. Oh my God, this is a higher level. Can you see an outline over here? Can you see an outline over here in Seaborn? And also, and another thing in Seaborn, you can also see in which region the crime rate. There are 4 regions, right? If you want to specially see, I can give comma hue equal to if I give region. Okay, I'll show it now. Hue equal to region. Can you see now the difference? So when you see it, you can see like the crime rate and the percent of senior. And can you see from this, this is an outlier here. Probably it could be an outlier. And you can see what inference that you can get from this graph. Please, one of you tell me. What is the inference after seeing this graph? You can get it. There are 100 values. We are not going. We are just seeing in visualization. On x-axis, the crime rate. On y-axis, the percentage of seniors who are computing the crime rate. And there are 4 regions in this data set. Can one of you unmute your mics and say, or you can let me know what is your inference or what is the reflection when you see this graph? Because we are seeing about data visualization, right? Please, can you unmute and tell me?
The crime rate is more at 50 to 60.
In which region? Which region the crime rate is more?
In third region.
Third region, you can see, and the crime rate is more higher on region 4.
4, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So can you see to this? Okay. And this is what is given here, right? So this is the inference. Can you get the inference on a normal thing? You cannot, right? So here, when you see this graph, you can say that at region 4 has got the highest crime rate, and region 1 has got
Ma'am, a small doubt. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No,
Could you just tell me what is HUE?
HUE is one target. If you have got a target in which you want to have you want to segregate your data. Okay, if I'm not going to give, I'm just going to get only the crime rates. Here, if you want to add one more parameter in specific, if I want to see. Say, for example, if I'm going to take a disease data set, right? In x-axis, I can take the age, and y-axis, I can take maybe they've got what is the sugar level, and I can have hue as whether the patient is a diabetic patient or not. The target value, you can keep it as an hue. Okay. So
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, if you're going to have like students and the marks and the hue, what would be the result? Pass or fail? And then you can see what categories of marks the students have got in your class. Something like that. All right. So now try the scatter plots with hue and without hue in Seaborn. I hope you should have tried it out for Matplotlib in the morning session. Now we are coming into the Seaborn. Can you just try the scatter plot with hue and without hue? Don't try whatever is in the hash. It is a comment statement, just one single line. And the more you work, the more you'll be able to learn. Jesus. I'm getting answers from Sita Devi ma'am and only a few. What about others? Kindly please do respond, please. At least onto the chat. Any doubts, feel free to ask. For me, whatever we are going to share, at least that if you're clear in working out, that's the greatest takeaway, more than focusing on. I'll show, for me, I'm prepared for all, but I want you to take away the insights of what we are seeing today. Once you have done, post it onto your chat as done. Thank you, Sita ma'am. What about others? Others, are you trying or any difficulties you have? Kindly let me know. I don't know how many of you are really getting into it. So I hope you're able to understand the scatter plots, right? The scatter plots. So Seaborn, we are using Seaborn. Here it increases the power of Matplotlib. You can see how it's a higher level interface, right? It creates beautiful charts with few lines of code, just one line of code. The same thing, I've tried it even for 20 lakhs of data. All right, you can also have take data from big data analytics using Hadoop. I don't know how many of you are using Hadoop file systems, right? You can directly infer those data and use it. And whatever is the size of data, you'll be able to use it. Seaborn is built on top of Matplotlib. That is what even in a sequence of content, they've given Matplotlib and then comes Seaborn. All right. So let's show me, or let me show you what are the other structures, right? So whenever you want to divide into data points into groups, then you can use scatter plots, and also you can see outliers of the scatter plots, right? This we have already shown. These are I'll directly move into Seaborns and also morning session. I hope you should have learned more about Matplotlib. Okay, inside Seaborn itself, there are a lot of data sets they are giving it. Like SNS dot load data set of iris, right? You can directly load your iris data sets, right? And I've shown a scatter plot that you have already done it. And also this is another plot called a swarm plot. Can you do you remember swarm of bees? Swarm of bees, all right? It goes like in a cluster, right? Same way, if you want to have swarm plots, right? You can have swarm plots. You can also use like this, like import Seaborn as SNS. All right, then already we have done it. Like iris is equal to SNS dot load data set of iris. Iris is a flower. This is called Setosa virginia versicolor. Right, a sample of four kinds of species are there. All right, so this is scatter plot, and let's try swarm plot. And even for the same data set that we've used here, you remember we tried for crime rate and percentile or something we tried. Yeah, here you tried, right, the scatter plot. So there are different columns like workforce, how many graduates in each region, and also you can see about physicians, right? Say for example, if you want to have same swarm plot here, because we have already loaded that data set. Using that data set, I can show you SNS dot swarm plot. Swarm is there, strip plot is there. I can give there, it was a scatter plot. The same thing, I'm changing it to be as a swarm plot. I think with hue and without hue also you can try. Maybe it is taking time to with hue. Let me try the same without hue. You can see it was working for different colors, and then it makes. Can you see? It's report like that. And which region, what kind of percentile are there? But it's more clear in iris. So try to import iris. Import, I think you should have imported Seaborn. SNS.load data set of iris. Just one single line here. Just try this. Already we have tried the other plots. Try this plot alone. Loading data set and one example of swarm plot. You can see that as a swarm of beads, and you should be very intelligent what kind of data sets are there and how it could be used. All plots will not be used for everything. All right. Are you all responding? Sit away, ma'am. All right. Other than Sita Devi, ma'am, let me get response from any one person. Is one of active member. What about others? Are doing it? So I'm loading a data set and then visualizing. We have already completed scatter plots. Like you can have box plots, right? We have seen Quant plots, scatter plots, and swarm plots. Josephine, ma'am. Okay.
Two plots we have seen, ma'am. And the rest of the thing we are just observing.
Okay. Okay, then let me move on to heat maps, right? Heat map is a graphical representation, how far it is intense, right? Mostly it is how we are doing a correlation. When you take into Seaborn, there are basically 3 correlations are available, right? The default, you know what is correlation, right? How the relationship between 2 variables are there, right? When you want to do a visualization, like when in Seaborn, there are 3 types of correlation. Default is Pearson's correlation, okay, and the next is Spearman correlation, and the third one is Kendall correlation. Okay, these are the 3 correlation available in Seaborn. All right, how each data sets are correlating between 2 parameters. So when I see here, I'm using SNS.heatmap of iris. Right, I have loaded the iris data set. Can any one of you say why the diagonal is contains value 1? Can you see the diagonal has got value 1? Can you let me know why the diagonal has got value 1? Please do answer. Some of you are quiet listeners. Similar? No. See, it is finding the correlation between the columns of your data set. Listen carefully. Columns of your data set. So x-axis, you've got sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width. And y-axis, sorry, x-axis and the y-axis contains a common value. So sepal length is strongly connected with sepal length. So when I take Doreen, I'm strongly correlated with Doreen. How I'm going to get correlated, say for example, if I want to say how am I correlated with Gayatri ma'am, there is a difference. The value, if I'm a good friend, then my correlation value would be positive and more. Can you see? When the value is less, it is less correlated. All right. So sepal length to sepal length is fully correlated, so you get the value 1. Always in heat maps, the diagonals will have correlation 1, 100% correlated. Okay, in humans, when you like people, you're strongly correlated. Some people you don't like, you're less correlated. Same way, but sepal length and sepal width is correlated like minus. When there is a negative value, it is not good correlation. All right, when you see but sepal length and petal length, it is 0.87. The color is also less, which is strongly correlated. So when you see in the heat map, when the color is dark, it depends upon what color palette you use, which means these values are not correlated well. All right, it's not correlated well. Able to understand? Okay, each square shows the correlation -1 to +1. Okay, so when the value is closer to 0, right, it is not very good correlation. When it is closer to 1, they are more correlated. All right, able to understand till now? The heat maps, we have seen heat maps, Quant plots, scatter plots, and then swarm plots. All right, in Seaborn, right? I'm not going into Matplotlib, and you can also like have a pie chart like this, both on Seaborn and Matplotlib. All right. So we have seen about, I hope you would have understood how Matplotlib works. Yes, no? Got learned something new about Matplotlib? So, and sorry, not about Matplotlib. Matplotlib was a previous session. Seaborn. Okay. Any doubts you can feel free to ask me in Seaborn. And not only that, you've got box plots, boxen plots, And also you've got another plot called as a violin plot. And I can show you that before I just show a demonstration. Then I move on, because if I keep waiting for everybody to work it out, right, as I'm using sns.swarmplot, right, if I'm going to change, anybody here knows to play violin? Knows to play violin? So I can just change it to be as violin, petal length, and also I can make a, instead of petal, I'm going to make it as sepal. X-axis, can you see it looks like a violin here? And according to the kernel density. So there are 3 varieties of flowers. So what could be my reflection? The flower setosa has got width of more between 5. Okay, for versicolor it is nearing to 6, and for virginia it is nearing to 7. And which sepal length is more? Which flower? These 3 are flower. Species are the flower. Each flower has got sepal and petal, like the length and the width. It's a benchmark data set.
Virginica.
Virginica. All right. So this is how the violin plot. The violin shape, when the kernel density estimate, when the kernel values are, when the region where the value is more, you've got like a violin. Can you see it looks like a violin? Yes. All right. And also we have tried sepal, and before we tried what? Petal, and sepal length and petal length. And also I can try like box plot. All right. A sepal length and petal length and petal width. Let me try this. I want to show you different columns. Can you see the box plot? What do you understand from that? Which petal has got lesser width and which has got the more width? Okay. Same thing even here, the swarm was not working well, and we can try for the box plots here. For the first data set that we have taken, values are more. Make it as region, only there I have got less number of values. Can you see? Okay, the dots shows the outliers. And there is another plot called as box and plot. Sepal, I'll try with sepal width that we have not tried till now. Oh my God, I've given again box. Can you see different columns? The boxes are different, and the dot shows your outliers with the kernel density estimate. Box and plot comes with the kernel density estimate. All right, able to understand till now?
For what things you can use box and none? For what things you can
When you want to know more about the outliers, see here, see this is the sepal width, right? And this, if I'm going to use the same petal, I'll show to you. You can see the difference for the same same values, right? It was sepal and petal width, sorry, species and petal. I'm going to give it as petal. Now let you see to it and tell me how it works between box plot and box and plot. What is your inference? Can you see the outliers are even more predominant in box and plots because it uses the KDE, which stands for kernel density estimate. All right.
differences
Yeah.
shown in this here.
Yeah. So the box plot and the box and plot. All right, these are the different packages. Still more, there are many more functionalities are there. All right, in CBON, right? So now moving on into your Plotly and Bokeh, right? Plotly and Bokeh. Let's move on into So when you see about bokeh, okay, a bokeh, it is used to make, before going to bokeh, I'll move into plotly, and then we move on to bokeh, right? Plotly, plot.ly, okay, it's a tech computing company based on material, okay. They provide online analytics and statistics and graphing tools for individuals and companies, right? So they provide a scientific graphing libraries. Now can you tell me, you're able to understand the difference between matplotlib and seaborn? Can you understand, like, seaborn has got a higher level user interface in comparison with matplotlib? Yes, no, no, yes. And they're able to find out that. Yes, sir. You're not able to. Please do answer. Whether you're able to find the difference between matplotlib and seaborn in the visualization method. This is the plots of seaborn, and these are the plots of matplotlib. Whether you're able to find the difference, or you say it is the same. Which has got I showed you one scatter plot, the exact scatter plot difference between a matplotlib and seaborn. You remember, this is about seaborn and the matplotlib. What's the difference? Yes, thank you, Gayatri ma'am. Okay. All right. These are plots of matplotlib. Right here I showed you, do you remember this? I showed you an example of scatter plot with you, without you, and matplotlib. So it has got a higher level user interface. Okay. Now when you come into plotly, right? When we are going into a plotly, right? So plotly is a very, very beautiful graph. Here you can have like scatter plots, line plots. Now you can see how the scatter plots is different here. All right, how the scatter plots are different using plotly. I'll just show you the working that I've done it for a kidney prediction data set. So line plots, scatter plots, box plots, contour plots, time series plots are different plots that you can do it using plotly. Okay, here it makes an interactive graph online. See, when I hover over this, can I find any values? So seaborn, if you see, can I hover my mouse over, can I find the values of it? Yes or no? Or am I able to see the values? Give one answer, either yes or no. No, thank you, Josephine. Now I will show you how it works. I'm importing pandas. All right. I'm going to run it. So this data set is about the kidney disease data set. Okay. Again, in addition, this is a benchmark data set. So it has got amazing features. It is interactive by default. Okay. Here charts are not saved as images, but they're serialized as JSON values, right? We can write it using R, Matplot, Matlab, or Julia. And also you can export it for printer publication and easy to manipulate, or you can also embed it on web pages. Okay, and also you can embed it on web pages. Okay, I'm importing, it's running. I don't know why it is so kind of slow. Okay. Okay, now I'll show you the difference between. I told you, right, in Plotly you can use whatever kind of values that you need to work on. Okay, and so this is my data set of kidney data set, right? What is the age? What is the BP, blood pressure, the sugar, albumin, RBC, so many values and classification it gives. What is CKD? Whether it is a chronic kidney disease or not a chronic kidney disease. So this is my entire data set of 400 rows and 26 columns, right? And the total size is multiplication of rows and columns. All right, and then what is the dimension of data? All right, and I'm making my total width full, right? And I have my classification as CKD. And I'm renaming it because the values are less. So I'm trying to rename it as blood pressure, specific gravity, albumin, the creatinine levels, right? The serum creatinine. Okay, the white blood cells, whether it's hypertension, whether they've got heart disease or they've got diabetes, right? Their hypertension, and the class 8, whether they're CKD or not CKD, whether they are a kidney disease patient or a not kidney disease patient, right? These are pandas. I hope these and all you should have seen on the previous sessions. I'm not going to dive into it. All right, and now there are different color palettes in Seaborn that you can use. These are the by default. Yeah, we'll have, and these are the count plots. And now it's time for you, and once we complete, and also you can use color palettes, right? Palette is equal to set one, default is one, and then you can have like color palettes or rocket, and the colors are like that, and you get a bigger visualization using Seaborn, right? And these are about missing numbers, pair plots. All right, I told you, right? In Plotly, I'm importing plotly.express at px. All right, and I can hover over and I can have my values. And as we're running out of time, we can take a break for 15 minutes and come back by 2:45. And again, we'll start with Plotly and the geospatial data sets. All right, over to the organizers.
Thank you. Participants, you can go to break and be back by 2:45. Kindly make use of the session. It's going on hands-on. If you're not responding, then we'll show you the demo of the thing.
Can we start, ma'am? Can we start? Able to hear me? Ma'am? Okay, so we'll start with the next session. So in the first session, we started with what are data visualizations.
Recording in progress.
What is data visualization? We have started off with, and then what did we move on with? Can one of you recap what did we see in the first session? Yeah, some of you are posting it on chat. You can also share some words that you learned new or what is that we have seen in the session 1 before the after first session. Yes, please. What are the packages we have seen? Any few at least respond? See, even Anonymity is sponsoring and they want it to be of good technical development for the faculties, but it is in your hands to use it and come it out. So we started with visualization where it is used. We saw about seaborne packages, right? In seaborne, what are the different plots you tried it out or you saw it in the demo?
We saw swamp plots,
Swamp plots.
then violin plots,
Swamp plots, violin plots,
scatter plots,
count plots, box plot, box and plot. Then we saw about heat maps. Yes, I'm always getting a response only from Sita ma'am. I don't know why not from others. All right, others are silent listeners.
Listening, ma'am.
Okay, so these are the different plots, and then we started with a plotly, right? And plotly is there that we're going to see, and you're trying to, some of you try to give some inferences, right? And here you are able to visualize how matplotlib and seaborn is different from matplotlib. Now coming into plotly, I said a plotly, it makes interactive graph sound line. See, same thing when I hover over my seaborn, right? Am I be able to get any value points onto this? No. See, I'm using another like kidney data sets. Okay. When I hover over, I'm taking onto my class whether they've got disease or not a disease. Okay. So class 0 and class 1. Right? So which has got disease and which has not got diseases, right? So same heat maps, and we have tried it here for the seaborne. Okay, when I hover over it, right? When then the hemoglobin, and here I'm using a scatter plot. As I've tried Violin Plot, as I hover over, can you see the values onto that? The KD, you remember I told you about KDE. What is KDE? Anybody remembers? KDE, kernel density estimate. Here again, you can see where is the red blood cells count with the disease and without disease. So when I see the packed cell volume, that is one column name, okay. Onto my x-axis, I'm going to have hemoglobin, and y-axis, I'm scatter plots. Can you see the values keeping changing as the hemoglobin increases? Like one is without disease and less is with the disease, right? Can you find it out? So I can find when people have disease, their hemoglobin value is less, and when they're healthy, their hemoglobin value is more. So, and you can see the color intensity from 0 to 1. Can you find the difference between how Plotly is different from Matplotlib and seaborne? At least give me an answer, either yes or no. It's an interactive graph. Yeah. You're all listening, but most of you are not responding, right? Please do respond, right? When you take class also, you wish students to respond, right? If you want to have an auto scale, only this portion, if you want to scale, that portion also you can scale it in Plotly. Okay? That also, you can download it as a PNG. I can zoom it, I can have a selection, or I can have a lasso also. It's my normal. If I want to have a lasso selection only to this value, I can have a lasso selection, right? If I want to have a block selection, or if I want to have an auto scale of only that point, alone will be taken. Alone will be taken. I can pan it around, right? Can you see how it is different from the other? Once it is done, you can make it as normal. All right. This is how the Plotly works. I'm importing plotly.express at px, all right, and then px dot violin, all right, and then the scatter plots, and then if I want to have a bar graph, like same thing. This is a normal with this bar graph, all right, px dot bar of ABC and 1, 2, 3. Can you see the values being shown over here? This is how you use Plotly. Okay, this is how you use Plotly, and also you can define sizes, right? If I use my template, right? This is how Plotly plays a vital role for having interactive graphs. If you want to, especially for medical data sets, right? If you want to have an image and hover over the image, you get the values maybe of what is the level of the disease or something or the other, or the value to the particular point. If you want, you can use it using Plotly. All right. Yes. Yes.
Can we have any example for this partly for us today?
You're going to try it now? Yes. Since most of you were not responding, then I thought, okay, I'll show one more visualization, and then I'll show you a data set to work. The same data set also we could work on with. Okay, this is about the world rank universities, the teaching, their international, the male female ratio, international students. I'm using like plotly.express, right? Here I'm using plotly.graphobjects.go off. Okay, that is also possible. Since you wanted to have type I'll try to do the same thing on the function what we have already done, because you need not keep loading the data set. Already I hope you have got IRIS data sets, right? IRIS data
Yes,
sets
that we have.
yeah, try for that itself. right? Yeah, the box plot, the box and plot. Okay. I'm going to import plotly.express at px, right? And then you can have it as whatever graph that you want, whatever color template you want to have. I'll give you time to show you to type in with it. Data is equal to iris is my data set. X-axis I'm going to have set, I don't know how is the data set. Sepal length and sepal width. Or on to make I can have it as species. Color is class. Do you want to have a box or my template? I don't know, it's not species, what it is given as the output is PECIES. Can you see? Can I try this? If I'm not going to give the template, I'm just setting my width. And same way as we tried, we can try scatter plot or whatever it is. Can you see the output looks different? When I give template as dark, I'm getting it as dark. If it is not dark, it is normal. You can try with template dark and normal one. I've given template as plotly dark. And here I've made it to be a scatter plot. Yes, please. Once you have done, post it onto the chat as done.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So, able to understand how it works? And then we move on to the next package called as Bokeh. We have completed Matplotlib just revision, and then we moved on to Seaborn, and how Seaborn is different from Matplotlib. From Seaborn, we moved on to Plotly, right? And next package that we're going to see in the data visualization package, it is called as Bokeh. Okay, it is easy to make simple plots. Okay, and here also you can customize using specialized use cases, what you wish to have, right? And what if scenarios, right? If you want to give what if scenarios or drill down, I showed you, right? You can just select a portion of it as you have done it in a Plotly. Also, this is also possible in Bokeh. Okay, this is also possible in Bokeh. It works with 5 data tools, right? So like plots, like dashboards for applications, for web pages, right? And also it is, you can also add customized JavaScript and to have advanced functionalities. Right, now let me show you how it works. Right, I showed you about Plotly. Are able to learn something or find something new? Maybe when you're doing it for the first time. Okay, Bokeh visualization. I'll just show you how it works. Okay, so from Bokeh I'm importing. Okay, it's for an interactive tool. Right, as we have done, I'm importing bokeh.io, import output notebook or show, right? So I'm going to use plot, creating a new plot with the plot width to be 400 and height to be 400. All right, and then okay, I'm giving plot.square. Onto my x-axis, I'm giving it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Onto my y-axis, I'm giving 6, 7, 2, 4, 5. Okay, so 1 comma 6, okay, 2 comma 7, and 3 comma 2, and 4 comma 4, and 5 comma 5. Okay, what is the line size is 25. Okay, the line color is navy, and I want what colors to fill, like 5 values, like 1 comma 6, 2 comma 7, 3 comma 2, 4 comma 4, and 5 comma 5, and I want it as red, orange, blue, green, and yellow. All right, and so I'm filling it with alpha colors and I'm showing the plots. And here I can, if you want, I can save it. When I click it on, okay, and I'm going to save it, Bokeh plots, saving it as, I can get it as a PNG file. Okay, and also if I want to have a selection, want to pan out, I can pan out, or if I want to zoom out on place, if I download it as a PNG. And then if I want to reset it, I can also reset. Can you see expanding? Zoom in. Can you find it's this different? Zoom in and zoom out. And also I can save as like even HTML files also I can use it for embedding. Can you see as web page or something like that also could be done. All right. This is if I refresh, I'll get at what exactly I've given. So I'll give you time. First, try to understand from Bokeh. I'm importing whatever the packages that I need to have. All right. And the next is creating a plot with the triangular marks for line chart. Okay, x-axis I'm giving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why? Same thing you can use it for data frames also. I'm setting my plot width and I'm giving what is my title, multiglyphs. All right. And I'm giving plot dot line my x comma y the values like 1 comma 42, 2 comma 69, and 3 comma 23, 4 comma 11, and 5 comma 21. And then I'm plot dot triangle. When I give plot dot triangle, I get it as a triangle. If it is a circle, it will be a circle. X comma y, fill color as navy, and size is equal to 80. Able to understand how plotly works, sorry, how bokeh works. And here if you want to expand, I can expand it. And if I don't want, and also I could refresh it. If you want to move
Then
on.
can you share shortly or Bokeh into one of the in our so that we can upload and just see how it.
Okay, I share it with you this bokeh.
Okay.
I'll post it onto the chat. Right out. There is one plot on bokeh. And if you have not tried plotly also, I will share it with you. Can you try bokeh now? After you completing, let me know whether you've got it. And also try the functionalities here. The zoom in, zoom out, save, and then reset.
Yes, ma'am. Here we go.
is once you've completed with Plotly, let me know. I'll share it for, sorry, Bokeh, then I'll share it for Plotly. So from Bokeh, we are importing. I'll try to zoom.
Either one we will try, ma'am. That is enough. Now we will try for Bokeh. If it is working fine, then Plotly we will try later.
Okay, sure. We need to move into 3D plots and spatial, geospatial data, and we have got stat models. If you're not understanding, kindly you can unmute and ask. I'll be able to help you through. Importing the output notebook, instantiating it, show it, because without instantiating you'll not be able to see. And then I'm just plotting a square plots. If I'm giving triangle, you get a triangle plot. If I give a square, you get a square plot. All right. And then if you give a triangle, you can see how it works. And there are a lot of sample data are available, like how you used low data set in Seaborn, do you remember? Same way you have got, I'm just downloading a lot of data like US countries, like unemployment. Goog is one data set, right? So I'm trying to import Goog, right? So and then I'm converting Goog of data, right, into data time. And then this is the Google stock data, right? Google stock data from 2000 to 2012, whichever year I'm giving. So it is downloading the data directly from, like that. Lot of data sets are there. This is for the image processing, roads, airports, world cities, right? And a lot of things, right? I'm taking the Google stock data, right? X-axis I'm converting into date and time. So from that, I'm just ng of data, I'm making it as a data type, and as dates, like from that dates, I'm using type dates, and then I'm giving a title Google stock data. I'm plotting height and width, and what is my x-axis is my time, and my y-axis is my closing price of my stock data, and I'm just trying to plot it out. Go of close, which date it is, what is the closing price of it. Can you see how it is getting? Say for example, if I wanted to see one particular size also, I will be able to do it, right? That is also possible. And also if you want to save it, you can save it, and if I want to reset it, I can reset. Okay, this is all using Bokeh. And also if you want to use different layouts, they've got different widgets are also available. So here I'm trying to use my common data source, right? X to the power of 0.005. I'm generating a list of 0 to 201, which will be 0 to 200, right? And then values, I'm just showing it as a plot here. Okay, I'm just showing it as a plot over here. Right, I'm using plot.line, so it uses my line plot. All right, and if I want to download it as an HTML, I told, right, Bokeh, you can use it for interactive web pages. I'm just using plot. I'm using circle, bit, right, square, a triangle, a line plot, and now if I downloaded it, can you see here I'm getting a plot.html. I'm downloading it. Okay, and let me show you how it looks. Plot.html. Can you see onto your screen? From the Bokeh, I'm downloading the first plot that I've done as HTML. So you can use this into your for if your web pages, or you can use it for your application. So you're going to develop a web applications, you want it to be interactive. That is so possible. Is it fine? Able to understand? So only when I want to use it, I need to give it as save plots of. What is the output file? Plot.html. Then you can use it as an HTML. And also you can get it as an embedding also. Okay, creating a simple plot and we are exporting as a standalone HTML page. Okay, able to understand about the power of Bokeh. We have seen Seaborn, Matplotlib, and Plotly and Bokeh. All right. Yes.
Yes.
I don't know how many of you are. Can you tell me what will be the sequence? It is not related to data analytics and all. Just look onto it and tell me what would be the next sequence. O, T, T, F, F, S, S. What letter would come next? Any idea? What will come? What letter? Next 3 letters of the sequence. Participants. No, S, no, no, S. Can you tell me after O, T, T, F, F, S, S, what will be the next 3 letters? Any guesses? You could be right or wrong. How many of you trying thinking about it? Just type T on the chat. I want to know how many of you really into this. If you're thinking or trying to think, just type T on the chat. Trying, thinking. Yes, think. Only 2 of you are thinking out of 37. 56, Pavitra, ma'am, okay, 4, 5. I don't know. This FTP, whenever I ask any question, at the max, I get 5 answers. Okay. So let me reveal it. Okay, thank you, Esther. Okay. It is ONE1, TWO2, THREV3. It is 4, 5, 6, 7. What will be the next? 8 is E. Next is 9 and 10. The next 3 letters are E and T. Does it make sense? Once I told 1, 2, and 3, I'm immediately getting responses as E and T, right? So, okay, now we move on into our geospatial data. Like, how are you going to work with the geospatial data? So it is more important. A lot of researches are going on geospatial data, like when you want to learn something. Okay, and here at at our concern, we are giving trainings for faculties, for students, for research scholars, and you develop on your own, right? So now we move on to working with geospatial data. Okay, it's a practice that integrates interactive visualization onto traditional map. You remember in the previous session, I was asking you about Folium. Okay, Folium is a package for maps, right? Allowing to explore the ability for different layers of maps. When I take interns for students, like in 2017, there was a student, right? Now after that, he went to Australia, he completed his master's, and then now he's working in, I think he's working in Netherlands, right? And he, as a part of intern, he developed a project. So internships, some of them, they think only listening to talk. No, internship is where we sometimes, if the students are trained, they are up to the mark, we give them a project to work on, or if they come, we train them and then we put them onto the live projects to work. And every time the students they develop projects on their own. So this is my company's website. You can find it out, cirf.co.in. I can also show how visualization works on to this too. All right. All right. So if it works, I can show you how Google Analytics works and how it plays a vital role. I can share these details post with the session. You can find it out. I don't know, sometimes net is like this. Okay, let me come on to this, right? So here you've got the ability to change, visualize the, with like lot of geospatial data were there during your COVID analysis, whether you saw about it, yes, no? Which country, which was the first, maybe even in my YouTube channel I've released it, right? How it is more, okay, in which country it was more, and how as the year increases, how the value of the infection it increases and then decreases. So when you take maps and location, can you tell any examples of mapping applications, geospatial data applications that you use in your everyday's life? Answers on chat, please. Ola, exactly, said others. Which uses mapping applications, mapping of locations. Ola, other than Ola, others, only Ola. What about others? Like Uber, Swiggy, Zomato, all right, where and all you have the applications using mapping applications are available. All right, so you have a data set for food delivery location. That's what Swiggy, Zomato, or some items to be ordered and to get this dispatched, you use mapping applications. Like even I ordered a product in Amazon, like the food cutter for kitchen, right, that uses a glass one. We need to avoid plastics. So when you want to cut, don't use plastics, right? And in addition, and I'm the one of the Chennai ambassadors for Negili Masala Tamil Nadu. So always in my talk I speak about. So I ordered a glass base for cutting the vegetables. As I was speaking to your talk, I got the delivery from Amazon. I was able to see the man coming and then was able to get it, right? So that's an example. So visualized on map to identify the distance, proximity, and other things, right? And when you take geospatial data, right, it's a technique of building and analyzing map-based visualization. Whenever we want to have a map-based visualization, then we go on for geospatial data, okay? And it's used for sensors, mobile devices, the satellites connected, right? And maps can be in maps, cartograms, and graphs. Last time we had internship with our students, like wherein in one such student, she worked with the drought analysis, the three types of drought analysis, right? So you can see through whatever we are doing it at CIRF for students for research and institutions, right? There are blogs available. What are the courses we do? What is the vision? What is my vision? What is our goal in achieving it? The testimonials, and last time we had with what are the colleges that we have worked on with, some feedback videos. You'll be able to get it over here. And when you're free, you can just find it out what kind of training that we have given, and it's online and offline. And currently 1 month internship is going on, right? It's open for students. It's only hands-on session, right? And this is what the students, they work with the geospatial data here, right? The students, they work with the geospatial data. Some of them worked on knowledge representation, right? And each of them, they tried working on their own. All right, we give training, and she was one student who worked on, as when we came to geospatial data, I thought I will just show.
Hi, this is Srija. I'm doing my master degree in IT at Bhaktausla Memorial College for Women, which is in Korattur. I joined CIRF to do my internship for 4 months, and simultaneously I'm doing my project also, which is in the topic of real-time drought prediction using geospatial data. And the class was really excellent. The instructor was really kind, and she was really patient. We felt like we were always supported, and I would really recommend my friends and my family as well to join in CIRF and to gain knowledge about machine learning and deep learning. And thank you, Doreen ma'am, to giving this opportunity to share my review. Thank you.
So there are set of students they have done, and one such student is Shrija, she has last time this semester she has done a project on geospatial data. All right. So here you can have it like maps, cartograms, chloroplath, right? It's easy to understand location-based events. Like especially she took the data sets of how drought is being analyzed, right? You can also have like residential areas where it is more expensive property, like different places in Chennai. You say this place, if you go and rent a house, it's expensive, and those kind of analysis also could be done. All right. When it comes to applications like map to natural resources to track weather, what kind of weather yesterday night we had heavy rainfall in Chennai, right? And what is the quality of air, right? How much maybe for COVID, how it is getting infected. When it maps, I showed you the first image, right? Onto the map, the infection rates or whatever it is, it's very useful. And also you can also plot the sales of shops without, for example, if you take McDonald's, right, you can plot depending upon the sales, which place is more profitable for them. All right. And some places they say, when I went to a shop, they said, yeah, we are trying to open up another branch, right? When we went to Joy Lucas and T Nagar, and then they said, now we are planning to, because the requirement is more at Joy Lucas, we are planning to open it up in Ananagar. So these are some analysis that you can do it digitally, right? And or other data that are really needed available that you could be able to use it. For one such application is Folium, right? It's a Python library to visualize geospatial data, right? The simple command is the best choice and it's very easy. There are different packages and this is very easy, and you can have, it has got its own map box, open street maps, the same, right? And what are the different tile sets available, right? And here you can use right pip install, right? A Folium, and after you install Folium, you can import Numpy and Pandas, and you can use right, every location has got a latitude and longitude, and you can give what titles, like 3 titles I told, if you want an open street map, and then you can have start. Like I'll just show you. I'm installing pip install Folium. I'm importing. Yeah, it's getting downloaded. And then what are the packages like Numpy, the Pandas, and the Folium package, right? And from, okay, actually I loaded my sample data sets, statewide centroid. Can you see? Before going into that, you can map your data onto right. I'm going to take like import to go behind. I just showed you. Like I'm importing Folium and then Numpy as NP and Pandas as PD, right? Folium as F4, F4.map. I'm mapping my latitude and longitude of Kolkata, right? So a simple map of Kolkata, like F4, I'm importing the package .map, functionality, location, title. I told 3 types of maps, right? Can you see that I can see the street maps of Kolkata, Howrah? All right. Can you see to it? And then I can use it as zoom. I can show you Kolkata latitude, longitude. Can you see what is Kolkata's latitude or longitude? 22.576, 88.36, right? So I'm giving the same 22.57 and 88.36. So what latitude I'm giving, that particular location, it will take it out. And I told, right, 3 tiles are there and I'm using open street map tiles. All right, I'm just simply importing a package, Folium package, and then opening up a map. And then I have a data onto it. I can analyze the data and map that particular value, but your data set should mandatorily have a latitude and longitude. All right. This is one example. Maybe if you want to know Chennai. Okay, most of us are from Chennai. I hope so. Let me get it onto the chat now. How many of you are from which places? Which city? Type your city's name. Can you see? Chennai is 13.08 and 80.27. I'm giving 13.08 and 80.27. Type. I'm able to open my using Folium package. Can you see Chennai? Chennai, Georgetown, Thousand Lights, Gopalapuram, Nolambur, Ambattur, Tirumulavai. Yes, yes, Kavita ma'am. Any doubts? Kavita ma'am. Or the host can put them on mute, maybe by mistake. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. All right. So only two are answering. How many of you are listening to this talk right now? Pause the city in which you are seeing it onto your chat right now. Very difficult to get answers. Three of them you have answered. It is Chennai. What about others? Four from Chennai. Okay, so you're able to see, can you see using Folium package? You're able to see how the maps could be done, right? And also the next is right, three type site code. The next is payment terrain. All right, F4.map. And for Chennai, can you see the difference between this map and the previous map? This is open street map. This is payment terrain map. All right. And you can give what zoom level you want to have. Can you see the difference between open street and statement terrain? According to the application, we can fix it out. Okay, the next is statement toner. Okay, according to your applications, you can street maps or statement maps, right? And also you can use Folium, you can add marker to it, right? On my YouTube channel, maybe at the end of it, I will share it to you. You can figure it out, and I've given around entire COVID data set analysis, right? This is Eden Garden, this Victoria Memorial from Kolkata, right? And from Kolkata, I've taken two markers for Victoria Memorial and Eden. When the point, it gives a pop-up. This is Eden Garden, Victoria Memorial is here. Like that also, according to the data sets, you'll be able to work it out with that. All right. Also, you can save it as index.html. You can download it and use it for web applications, right? And also, if you want to have a different icon with red color, have you seen like this in Google Maps and all different colors? Yes, no? Have you seen it? Yes? Okay. Same thing we have been using. And yeah, some of you are answering. Thank you. And also you can have like a 4-dot circle. Like if you want to pop up like this is like the Salt Lake, and this is Salt Lake and the other one, right? So if I want to mark it accordingly, I can have a marker and a pop-up too. All right. Here's total India map. I'm opening up a total India map. In that I'm adding 3 locations. I need to run it again because it was reset. Can you see? Bombay, Delhi, and Kolkata. I'm using polylines to add to India. 3 locations. And I'm using polylines to multiple lines to add locations to India. So able to understand how map works? Yes. FO is Folium package. I've imported Folium as FO. When you have listened to the first talk, import Folium as FO. I'm importing, like we have seen about Bokeh, we have seen about Seaborn, we have seen about Plotly, and now we are into Folium. All right. Able to understand Folium? Yes, no, no, yes. You need to import it and then you can start working on that. For analytics and visualization, it really works. Even I can show you a live analytics of my website. So if the net works properly, then I can show you. So how beautiful is why, ma'am? Any doubts, Sita, ma'am? You can also create dashboards. You can also create dashboards and how do you want to do about it, right? So I showed you how to import the packages, how to have markers, Victoria Memorial and the Eden marker, how do you have statement toner, the circles, all right? And now moving on, I showed you how you move of using your Indian map, right? Indian map. Now we'll move on. Okay. Oh, you told yes, ma'am. Okay, I misunderstood. Like, why, ma'am? See here, how there is misinterpretations, right? I think Sita, ma'am, and only 5 of them are very, very active, have answered. And there are some of them who have never answered too. I don't know. And some of them have left. Okay. I think it's more important for faculties not to focus on joining FTP just for certificates, but what is the insight that you get out of from it. That's more important. I always wish to be. I always share it with the faculty because you are the strong pillars for the development of students. Okay, you use Google Analytics. We provide internship and courses on data science, machine learning, deep learning, cyber security, cyber forensics, knowledge management, digital marketing, web development using Django or using HTML, CSS, good stuff. These technologies I never learned on my college. Big data analytics using Hadoop. I think on July 22nd for another FTP, I'm giving talk on Hadoop machine learning. Sorry, MapReduce, word count, and other content of it. Right. And see, analytics plays a vital role. For that, visualization is more important. That's what I would like to emphasize it now. Okay, that's what I would like to emphasize it. That's very, very, very important. And many a times we forget or we lose the importance of upgrading ourselves. We It's for Tagore College, I suppose. Yeah, it's Tagore Engineering College. It's also a live session. Okay, first I'll show you how visualization plays a vital part for me, especially. All right. Okay. So you can also, once you learn Python and when you learn visualization, you can create your own dashboards. Okay, by the time it is getting loaded, can you all introduce yourself onto the chat, your department and your college name, your designations? Your name obviously will be the username when you post it. Okay. So by the time we move on, the analytics gets opened. We have seen Seaborn, Bokeh, Plotly, how interactive it is, and then we will now move into, and then we have seen about geospatial data, and now we will move on into 3D plots and the stats. Okay, followingly we move on into the stats. Expect the unexpected in life. See, today the entire internet speed used to be too high. Okay, Josephine from St. Saviour's Catholic College, Nagarkoil, nice. HOD from IT Jaya Engineering College. Thank you, Sita ma'am. And I'm so happy being in HOD, you are attending the entire session. That's wonderful. All right. So even I had been an HOD in Loyola College for 5 years, and during that time, and that's what when I keep internship, like from Pratyusha college faculties had come, and they came here for 2 weeks. They stayed here, and not staying means not night study. They come by 9:30 and they go by 4:30. It was totally an hands-on session, and then eventually they were able to learn it. Thank you, Josephine ma'am. Thank you, Sita ma'am. I don't know what about others. No response. I just asked your name, your designation, and your department. Sorry, your college name, designation, and department. All right. Only 2 of you have answered. I think only 2 of you are listening to it. Mathangani. You're from Meenakshi Sundararajan College. Yeah, even from Meenakshi College, you can post it, right? Your department, your designation, and your college name, right? Okay, we need to see about 3D plottings, and then we have to see about stat models. Gayatri ma'am is the coordinator, so she's asking, please do respond. Okay, so this is my dashboard of visualization. All right, and here I can see in my audience. Can you see my screen? On my audience, I can have an overview. Currently, there is no last 5 minutes. Nobody has viewed my website. Right? When I give an overview, it will show me how many of them I don't know, it's too slow. You know, when it comes to 3-dimensional thing, you can do it on Matplotlib. All right. And also, I'm importing another package called MPL Toolkit, right? Mplot 3D. Mplot 3D. When you go on to 3D plots, right? What is the difference between 2D plot and 3D plot? Can one of you say? It will add one more axis, right? X-axis, Y-axis, and Z-axis. So import matplotlib, numpy as npy, matplotlib.pyplot as plt, dot show plt dot figures, a plt dot axis. I'm giving projection is equal to 3D projection. So X, Y, and Z, right? And according to a data set, you can have a simple line plot. At Ax is equal to P at theta axis, projection is to the 3D. What is this lens space? Okay, before in Numpy, you can use sine of, cos of, lens space. Okay, 0 to 15, how many values you're going to get, I'll show you now. Okay, just if I give nt dot lens space of, all right. Oh, no, that's extremely slow.
Lens space we saw yesterday, ma'am, that is from 0 to 1000. How many values is being plotted? Yesterday we saw that.
Yeah, right. Not 0 to 15,000 values.
Yeah.
Yeah, what size that you would like to have. Okay. So 0 to 15,000 values. So as if I give with the space of 10, we'll be able to understand. 15, 0 to 15, 10 values. Lens space is the space between it, right? 0 to 15, the start and the end, and what is the gap that you want to have will be in will be on your lens space, right? And here I'm using sine of function as you've done already with the Numpy. I don't want to focus more onto that. The sine value, the cos value, and axis dot plot 3D. Okay, x-axis value, y-axis value, and the z-axis value, and you can see how the 3D plot is when I'm giving the C map as green. Okay, and also actually you told today morning you had Quant Plots, right? When I started my session, some of you told that you've got about Quant Plots. Yeah, so here also you can have like contour plots. I'm defining my sine wave, right? This, can you see it looks like a sine wave, like, and then the lens space that you already know about, and then I'm making it as a mesh grid. Can you see it like a mesh? And then I'm plotting it as a contour 3D, x, y, and z. Z is function of f of x comma y. Okay, and I can have another view of it, view of init of. All right, and then if I want to have wireframes like this, okay, for surface plots I can get it. And also it is used in if I want to have like a colorful map, I can give C map of wordies or whatever is it. Okay, there are many C maps available that is inside matplotlib of 3D. Okay, you can use it. And if you want to sector space, maybe in modeling and device it is used. When you want to do a prototype also, you can use 3D modeling. Okay, 3D plans, and therein you'll be able to use it. And then now able to understand till now, at least able to understand some throwing of highlights of it. Okay, so when I showed you the overview, I can show you like how many people, like in April, May, how many people have visited my websites. All right, this is what is visualization, like last 7 days, direct search, organic search in India, in Germany, in the United States, like session by using mobiles, and what are the pages people have seen in the last 7 days. When I see a graph of how active users are there, able to see my screen, right? So when this is what it gives me a overview. If you want to see it on real time, how many people are visiting my website? Real time overview. So on real time, it will tell me how many people, from which location people are watching my website. Last 5 minutes, nobody. Okay, let me share my website link onto the chat. Those who are listening to the talk, kindly click the link and it will be reflected here. I have given the link onto the chat. Let me see, at least one or two are trying. Yeah, one of them have come in. I can find it out, and they are from Chennai. And you are into the home page. Kindly try to move to different home. See three of them, all three from Chennai. You all three are in the home page. Kindly move to different pages of the website, and that also will be reflected here. One of you are into the blog, or one of you into the about us, and two of you are into the home page. And all of them are in from India, and sorry, Chennai, and one is from Tiruchi. I don't know who's from Tiruchi. One of you are from Tiruchi. Potential link in risk in this link, I don't know, man. Others are able to get it. Maybe try the same link, http://cirf.co.in. Try once again. Now I can see like 6 people are viewing the website. Like one is from Salem, one is from Trichy, and others are from, and most of them are using desktop, and some of them are using mobile. Okay, and from Chennai there are 3 users. Okay, in the last 6 minutes, and how you move on to different pages, like 3 are into the training, and see, this is the real analytics. Like that, when you know about data visualizations, you'll be able to do out for it, right? So what are the different courses that we offer here? And that's updated. And yeah, I'm using from Nagarkoil. Okay, let me check whether you have logged in, and that reflects over here. Tiruchi and Salem, it is coming. All right. And yeah, now internship is going on. Like it depends on the number of hours that they wish to take, and these are the topics, and these are what are the services that we do, the development services. And also we have said G Suite for many colleges and schools. During the pandemic in 2017 itself, we have a school in Chennai. It's called Bethel Matriculation High Secondary School, Ayanapuram. There we set up the Google Classroom in the year 2017. And these are some social works, sorry, this that we do. Two months once we go onto the roads and we distribute food packets and dresses for people who live on the road. It's just part of a foundation that we're doing it. And if you find it inspiring, you can also do it in your area. And what are the events that we have conducted, you can see to it. This is a workshop that we conducted, and still events. So you can see about what services, what this is the workshop on image processing we had it at WCC College. Okay. These are interns, so I took my interns over there. And something, see that you can find it out. Eight of you are here on different pages. And everything. See, this is the power of data visualization. Right? In one glance, we will be able to view it how things are going on. Right? That's what, like this plots. See, can you see how it is mapped on? Use geospatial data, right? It's mapped onto a map. Okay, and that you can also start creating some applications using that. Then moving out from your 3D to stats model. Okay, stats model. Want to see the recent events? You can. The next final package that we still need to see is about stats model. Okay. So we had on May 19 and 20, we had workshop data science at St. Joseph's Institute of Technology. Some of the event photos would be there. You can find out the event. So it was like almost 60 students. They had full hands-on session for 2 days. Mostly whenever I am available, I go as a trainer. It's a part of the session, and these are the students. Okay, all details about the web company, you can get it at the website, right? Analytics we have seen. And now moving on to a stats model. Okay, it's a Python module. This is the final module that we need to see, right? And that allows users to explore and estimate statistical models and perform statistical tests. Can you list some of the statistical tests that you know? Because you're all professors, mandatorily we should have learned mathematics, probability, and statistical paper. Can you list out some statistical tests that you know? Answers on chat. Names of some statistical tests. Yes, please. Linear regression, logistic regression, then Z-test, ANOVA table, remember? Yeah, chi-square test, ANOVA tables, t-test, rightly said. Then so you remember here and there what are the types of tests, right? So same way here also using Python, you could develop your statistical testing, perform your statistical testing for descriptive statistics or statistical test for plotting functions and having a results of statistics, like for various applications that you think that you'll be able to do on with that, right? So you take into linear regressions, right? So I'm importing, yeah, correlation test, right? I told you, remember when we did heat maps on seaborn, I told, right, 3 types of correlations seaborn allows: Pearson, Kendall, Spearman, all right? And then matplotlib, I'm from PyLab, I'm importing all the functions, and Numpy as NP, Pandas as PD, right? Pandas as PD. Like import statsmodel.api as SM. So stats model I'm importing as SM. From stats model I'm importing sandbox regression. Okay, WLS regression standards. Like you can, like lot of things are there in stats model. I can show you the package. Okay, in that I've taken prediction, weighted least square. Okay, weighted least square, WLS is the package that we have taken. Okay, so calculates the standard deviation and confidential interval for prediction, especially for the trendings, right? In Amazon, the next trending, how is the line graph going on? And for that, the next time series of data, how it is going to be infected, or whatever it is. For those things, you can, and also I've got distributions on parametric, and here I've taken regressions. Right, not only in regressions, you can have like other things also. You can have it in stats model API. Okay, so you can have regressions like GLS. In this session, we are going to see about OLS, which is ordinary linear square regression is what we are going to see, and we have important weighted linear square regressions, right? And generalized robust models, and these are different functions, and that are all available inside your statistical model API. Okay, Poisson's data, right? Roberts, quantile, regressions, robust linear, whatever it is, the packages are already available, and you can just take it out and then start working with that. You can start working with that. So it's for discrete and empirical distributions and so much and so more. And then I'm importing it and I'm having a sample, already you know about it. X is equal to linspace of 0, 10, 100. So 0 to 10 values, 100 values, I'm going to get it at equal distributions. Then for capital X is equal to NP dot column stack of X comma X to the power of 2. Okay, each X and X to the power of 2 will be my capital X value here, and Y and then beta is NPRI of 0, 1 comma 0 0.1 comma 10. Okay, the 10 values and an array I'm going to make it. And then random np dot random of wherein you get random variables and normal size is equal to n samples. So I've got X here, and then I'm going to add X is equal to, I'm going to add a constant of X to my X value. So I get like this. Okay, it was before, it was like this, and now I'm adding a constant to it. And dot, what is np dot dot? You have already completed Numpy, right? Can you tell me what is np dot dot? What it computes? Np dot dot. What it computes? Can you say? As you told about Numpy, that was right. Sorry, linspace, that was right. It is also a functionality in Numpy. What does np dot dot makes to? It computes the dot matrix. Like X and beta also has got 10 values, and X also has got 10 values, 0 to 10, right? How many values, and the same value will be there. So it computes the dot matrix and I get my Y function, right? So these are my X values and this is my Y value. Then I'm going to use OLS. What is OLS? I told ordinary linear square in statistics, the type of linear square methods for unknown parameters in a linear regression. So I'm computing using statistical model dot OLS Y comma X. Okay, and I'm fitting the model, I'm getting my OLS regression results, and my performance metrics will be R square. What is my R square? Is a good value here. And then I'm trying it for non-linear. First I tried for linear and non-linear relationship, same thing, OLS, and then what is the value of it? Okay, res BSC, and what are the predicted values, and can use, I'm able to understand after doing my statistical. I'm using matplotlib for this graph. You can use Bokeh, you can use Plotly, you can use Seaborn, like so, like those packages you can use it over here. And if I want to perform a time series analysis, I'm using ARMA. ARMA stands for auto regressive moving average, right? How in a statistical model in the time series to better understanding the future trends in stock markets, right? For college admissions for departments, because the college admissions are widely going on nowadays. And then the disease, spread of disease, right? The COVID analyses, or like wherever which product has been sold better. For those things, understanding, you can use this regression model called as ARMA, which stands for auto regressive moving average, right? This is what they use in stock exchanges and all. Okay, they use it on stock exchanges. So from statsmodel.tsa.arima process, I'm importing ARMA generate sample. It generates a sample, and then I'm having my AR samples and AR parameters and MA parameters, and then I'm using my NumPy functions. Right, it may look little more difficult for you. I'm using my date tools to get my dates of it, right? And then I'm doing a series analysis here, and then I'm fitting into the model, and this is my result for it. All right. So depth of statistical model also could be developed using Python packages, right? Python packages. So Plotly we have seen. Okay. Folium we have seen, bokeh we have seen, seaborn, scatter plots, pie charts, I showed box plots, histograms, matplotlib, 3D plots we have seen. And this is how you can find how the patterns, the trends, the correlations are being used. So this was our agenda to look at. So the 3D plotting, 3D plotting, geographical data, that is geospatial data, data analysis using stat plots, seaborn, and graph plotting using Plotly, and interactive data visualization using Bokeh. I showed first starting we had some hands-on, then we were able to show you how it works, right? How it works. So any doubts, whatever, at least you're able to understand how these packages are working, then it is well and good. And in depth we saw about Folium package also, right? In depth we saw about Folium packages. I'll share my details to you on chat, maybe on further. And this mail ID, I'm using per day 8 mail IDs, and this mail ID is not working. It's not working. It is working, but there is no space. Either send mail to Doreen HM, or I will give my company's website, CIRF.co.in. Okay. And also, what are the services we provide at CIRF is a very, very unique institution. It's a foundation. Don't think like any other companies. It's not like internship paid, non-paid, yeah, but proper training has been given, because I always see students get projects and they come, but that is not done here. The students, they develop projects on their own. More than business ethics, education ethics is more important. That is what we provide. And now presently like 131 or 132 students are into the online machine learning, and from Monday another batch of students, they're coming for an offline training with the they're coming for a internship for 10 days internship. So any of your college students or anybody they would like to have, they could also come and meet us up if they are interested. If they are really, really interested, it could be done. All right. And I hope the session would have been useful to you. And also I've streamed it on YouTube. I will share the link to Guy Ma'am. And this is my YouTube channel that you could see to it. YouTube Doreen. Yeah, this is my. Whether you're able to understand, or what is your insights about the session? We had 2 sessions.
Participants, one has almost covered everything. So those who are having any doubts, you can post your questions in chat, or you can directly ask.
Yeah. A useful session, ma'am. Learned more about. Thank you, Josephine, ma'am. And currently we are providing online and offline internships, and also project developments will be done by the students. Training only will be given. The course fee will be only for the training. According to us, there will be no fee for the project development, because they do it on their own. When they get an error, we debug it for them. And this is my YouTube channel. I've posted it onto the link also. You can find it out. Lot of talks. Almost I stream everything onto my YouTube. Whenever I give talk, maybe it will be useful for anybody who watches over it. If you find the session is useful, this is the link of the session. Kindly give your feedbacks in the comment sessions. Right? I will share this link to you now. Okay. Any other questions?
Anybody having any questions? Okay, ma'am, now I will conclude the session. And I would like to thank you, ma'am, on behalf of MSEC. I'm extremely, that is a very pleasure in having you for the session. It was an inspiring presentation today, ma'am. So I hope that so they were silent, but I hope you have understood most of the knowledge, so make use of it. It's a memorable lecture, ma'am. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, participants.
Thank you all. Whenever you feel free to contact me for any help on WhatsApp. Mostly I responded back to you. Okay, thank you all. God bless.
Thank you, participants. Please fill your feedback form. Thank you.